Hi, this is 100 in 100, where we are reviewing 100 VR games in 100 days. Today we're looking at Summer Funland VR. Summer Funland is basically a theme park that you get to explore and experience a series of mini games as you go about the park. There is skee ball, roller coasters, weird unicorn games. There's all sorts of things that you can experience at Summer Funland, and we're excited to review those with you today. In our VRGear game reviews, we cover as many aspects of the game as we can so that you can make an informed decision before you try or buy one of these VR titles. Summer Funland is what we're looking at today, so let's jump right in and talk about this game. First, let's talk about getting up and running with Summer Funland. This game can be found on the Steam store, the Oculus store, the PSVR store, and the Viveport Infinity store. Wherever you buy your VR titles, Summer Funland VR is there. The download file is about 6 gigabytes in size and could take up to an hour and a half to download and install if you have a slower internet connection. On faster internet connections, you're looking at just a few minutes to download, and installation happens automatically. Once installation is complete, you'll see a menu that will allow you to get into the park and start exploring what it is that Summer Funland has to offer. This game is a bunch of little games packed together, and so the type of game is a theme park simulation, which isn't helpful unless we talk about what each one of those games are. But there are gallery shooting games, there are roller coaster games, there's magical unicorn jousting, there's a lot of different sub-games in this game. You'll be able to play all these mini games as you explore what's at the theme park. This game is going to be played from the first-person perspective. You can see your hands and any objects that you hold in your hands, but some of the rides you don't even see your hands. All you see is the ride itself or the experience itself, like unicorn jousting. You see your horn instead of your hands. But the game is played from the first-person perspective as you travel around the theme park and experience all the different attractions. For a theme and story, this theme park is more of an amusement park because there is no real theme. This amusement park is themeless, although the theme of the game is amusement park. So it actually does a great job of capturing the carnival feel, the amusement park feel. You see food stands, game stands, roller coasters, and other people walking around the park, interacting with and enjoying the amusement park. So Summer Funland, the theme is amusement park, not necessarily theme park. For the controls in this game, they're very simple and appropriate for a game of this type. Moving around the park is done by tilting your joystick in the direction you'd like to go. You'll be able to pick which way you face when you land. So trigger selects, joystick helps you teleport throughout the game, and that's about it. Controls are very simple and they're appropriate for this style of game. For music and sound, this game is really lacking, and there's a lot of things that could go into this game down the road that would really enhance the experience. If you've been to an amusement park, you know that there is constant sound coming from a million different angles, and part of that is trying to get you to go to one of the other attractions and see what's going on. You hear music playing, or you hear people on a speaker somewhere explaining some cool event, but this game didn't have any of that stuff. The sound was really lacking, and we were really hoping for a more immersive experience that was brought on by music and sound to make it feel like you were really at an amusement park, but it just wasn't there. Player movement in this game adopts the traditional teleportation movement mechanisms. You are able to pick the location that you would like to move to, and in the same input, select which direction you're facing when you land. So player movement was really great for getting around an expansive theme park like this. For motion sickness, while this game looks very approachable, especially for people who might be new to VR, this is definitely not the game that you'll want to start with if you've never been in VR. And if you're sensitive to motion sickness at all, you should just run in the other direction. One of the very few places where we weren't motion sick was when we were downloading the game. And also when we were in the menu selecting what we were going to start with, and also when we were standing still between the attractions. Oh, and the shooting range, because that's a gallery shooting range, you're standing in one spot. Any of the other attractions, and including teleporting, if you're sensitive to motion sickness, teleporting might make you motion sick. Any of the other attractions, you're asking for some serious motion sickness. You might think you're sick after riding a carnival ride in real life. Try riding one in this game and it takes it to a whole new level. This game makes you motion sick. And even if you're not sensitive to it, you'll become sensitive to it. You're gonna be motion sick while playing this game, and I can't say it enough. This game makes you motion sick, big time. For environment and immersion, this game kind of was a mixed bag. You could interact with some things in the environment, but not others. You couldn't interact with people, but you were able to interact with the games and the different mini games. Another thing that the environment was really lacking was the sound, as we mentioned. There wasn't a lot of music. The sound was very simplistic. When you're riding roller coasters, you could hear the clicking of the ride approaching the top elevation of the game, and you could hear wind as it rushes past your ear, but because there was no theme to the ride, there wasn't much sound or music to accompany that experience. And so the environment was good, but it wasn't great. And there was a lot that could be done to improve and enhance the environment in this game. All right, now let's look at the overall scorecard for Summer Funland VR, starting with theme and story. We're giving this game a 6 out of 10 for theme and story. A lot of points were deducted here because of the lack of theme in an amusement park that could have had a very powerful theme. The developers didn't go there, and so there wasn't a theme. There's no story because it's played from your own perspective, which is basically pick a game, play a game, and that's it. So we're giving this game a 6 out of 10 for theme and story. For controls, we're giving this game a 7 out of 10 for controls. There weren't a lot of different inputs that you could do in this game, and simple is always better if you can achieve it, but there were some things that would have been nice that if they incorporated additional controller inputs, especially when it comes to some of the mini games that you would have wanted to further interact with or interact with at a much more intimate level. So a 7 out of 10 for controls in this game. For music and sound, we're giving this game a middle of the road score of a 5 out of 10. There was sound in the game, sound effects from when you were playing the mini games. There were ambient noises that would help you as you're moving through the theme park to kind of orient yourself, but there's so much more that could have been done with the audio experience in this game that would have really enhanced the environment, really enhanced the immersion, and the developers just didn't go there. And it's unfortunate, but a 5 out of 10 for music and sound in this game. For player movement in this game, this is a tough score to do because there's movement in the mini games, but there's also movement in the theme park. And so we're going to focus on moving around the theme park because this game adopted the traditional teleportation and they did a good job of including direction and teleport in the same movement. A 7 out of 10 for player movement in this game. For motion sickness in this game, we're going to have to give this one a 1 out of 10. And we hate giving low scores like this, but this game is a violator of all of the different motion sickness problems that we see in VR that actually scare people away from the platform in general. The technology is capable of helping people not feel motion sick, but game developers keep giving people experiences that will cause motion sickness, regardless of how great the hardware has become. And so a 1 out of 10 for motion sickness. And this has everything to do with what the game developers decided to create as a VR experience. For environment and immersion, this game is receiving a 6 out of 10. Slightly better than average, but there's so much more that could have been done that wasn't. And so we're giving this one a 6 out of 10 for environment and immersion. All right, so for the overall score for Summer Funland VR, we're giving a 5.3 out of 10. There were some great things about this game, and there were some things that weren't so great about this game. Motion sickness being the least favorite part about this game for us. But there's a lot of potential in a game like Summer Funland, and there's a lot of great things that could be done in an amusement park environment. They just weren't done in this game. This has been 100 in 100, where we are reviewing 100 VR games in 100 days. Hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell so that you can receive a notification when we release another VR game review tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.